The 1960s gave us more than muscle cars. It gave us muscle tractors. These machines were tough as nails, easy to fix, and built for farmers, not factories. Some were affordable legends, while others were premium beasts. But these 15 machines truly earned their place as the most loved tractors of the 1960s. Number 15, Minneapolis Moline G1000. There were no cordial greetings. In the mid-1960s, farms were getting bigger and the demands heavier. The G1000 entered that scene like a challenger stomping into the ring, loud, heavy, and already swinging. This was the muscle tractor that didn't blink when faced with thousands of acres. The kind you hooked up to serious work and let it do its thing without apology. The power plant was brutal in size, 504 cubic inches, equal to 8 3/10 liters of sheer displacement. Under the hood sat a 6-cylinder, naturally aspirated engine that didn't bother with frills, just mass and movement. Row crop tractors rarely had wheels this big. It was closer to what would be found in industrial or construction equipment. Weighing in at 11,200 pounds, this machine stayed grounded no matter what it dragged behind. You could hitch it to a mountain and still feel traction at your feet. With 94 horsepower at the drawbar, this wasn't casual horsepower, it was committed muscle. And torquey? That clocked in at 265 pound-feet, enough to twist through soaked clay, uphill pulls, or stubby field residue without ever hesitating. Top speed sat around 14 miles per hour, but the point was never speed. It was about staying consistent across large, demanding fields without stalling or overheating. That's exactly what it did. Buyers had a choice between gasoline, LP gas, or diesel versions. Diesel gave you stamina. Gasoline kept things quick and affordable. LP gas ran smoother and cleaner, perfect for close quarter work. There was more to the G1000 than its muscle. Minneapolis Moline gave it adjustable front axles, wide platforms, and operator-friendly controls placed within easy reach. This one wasn't the kind of machine you chose lightly. It was what you turned to when the job refused to back down, and neither could you. Decades later, G1000s still turn heads at pulls and farm shows, not for polish, but for proving that true muscle doesn't rust. Number 14, Oliver 1800. Talk in town said bold. Out on the field, it proved reliable. The Oliver 1800 earned both titles the hard way. Built to pull heavy and still run smooth, this was a machine born from practical thinking. No frills, no gimmicks, just solid performance wrapped in a clean lime green finish. Deep inside its steel frame sat a 6-cylinder engine, punching out 4,341 cubic centimeters, or 265 cubic inches of determined output. That iron block didn't scream, it rumbled, it had strength without noise. Like a confident punch instead of a desperate swing, power was only half the story. What truly made farmers nod in approval was its Hydra Power Drive, a partial power shift system that delivered smoother shifts without wrestling the gear stick. In terms of muscle, the 1800 could crank out 82 horsepower respectable, especially when paired with the right equipment. It wasn't trying to break records, it was trying to break ground. And it did acre after acre without slowing down. With a frame weighing close to 9,800 pounds, it held steady under pressure and stayed grounded when others slipped. Stability sets it apart. Whether hauling cultivators or loaded wagons, its balanced frame made pulling feel predictable, not punishing. The weight distribution and wheelbase offered predictable balance, making it ideal for pulling plows, cultivators, or heavy wagons without a fuss. It didn't fight you. It worked with you. This tractor also came in multiple versions of row crop, wheatland, and diesel models, giving operators more choices than just take it or leave it. That level of versatility wasn't typical at the time. Oliver made sure this one could serve various regions, soil types, and farming methods. Even its looks mattered. The long nose, clean lines, and high visibility paint gave the 1800 a style that didn't fade. It looked like it belonged in the future and still does in vintage collections. This one wasn't the most talked about tractor of its era, but yes, it was one of the most trusted. That's what made it special. The Oliver 1800 didn't chase glory, it earned it. Number 13, Allis Chalmers D17. American farms were rapidly changing by the time the Allis Chalmers D17 arrived on the scene. Schedules are tighter, fields are larger, and 5 men's work is done by more machines. And right in the middle of it all came this bright orange, no-nonsense machine that didn't try to look flashy. There was no shine, no swagger, just steel that did its duty. The D17 had a compact build that made it easy to handle, even in tighter rows or uneven terrain. It was built low to the ground but balanced just right, giving operators more control without sacrificing power. But don't be fooled by its size. 2,554 cubic centimeters, equal to 156 cubic inches of displacement, was produced by the engine that was included with the vehicle. That meant that there would be no drama in the field, and smooth starts with steady power. Whether you were doing light work or pulling heavy loads, it never lagged. The tractor came in at close to 5,500 pounds, making it light enough for easy handling while still sturdy for field work. It never tried to roar or tower over rivals, but 52 horsepower on the drawbar made sure it always stayed relevant. It was ideal for plowing and planting due to its high output. What's a belt? Handled effortlessly. Crops in rows? No problem. Its popularity came from something simple. It didn't demand attention, but it earned respect through sheer consistency. Additionally, it continued doing so year after year, with few interruptions. That kind of reliability is why so many of these machines stayed in service well beyond their time. And if you were pulling through mud, hills, or heavy loads, torque stayed steady around 160 pound-feet enough to keep going without missing a beat. Even when pushed hard, it kept cool and steady without skipping a beat. Even when pushed hard, it kept cool and steady without skipping a beat. The top speed was just under 13 miles per hour, which wasn't fast, but fast enough for long rows and quick returns. Consistent movement saves money in the world of farm equipment, and this tractor knew that. The option of fuel was another win. You could run it on gasoline, LP gas, or diesel. Farmers loved that. It meant flexibility, lower costs, and fewer headaches during shortages. There was no guessing game with fuel. It handled gas, LP, or diesel without complaint. The D17 did not set out to become famous. It just kept showing up day after day, season after season, and that's exactly why people still talk about it. It didn't get where it is because of hype. Rather, it got where it is because it is respected in the dirt. Have you owned or driven one of these icons? Let us know in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more looks at the most unforgettable machines in farming history. Number 12. Case 930. Comfort King. The Case 930 Comfort King was released in the 1960s and became known for its high ground clearance and dependable performance. Instead of being flashy or delicate, it was tall, square, and proud. The grit of the farmers was more important than how they looked, and the 930 delivered with a high clearance profile and bold stance that made it stand out from the competition and crops alike. The machine was powered by a diesel engine with a displacement of 361 cubic inches, or 5.9 liters, which is 3,661 cubic inches. With that much lung power, it handled the daily grind without ever wheezing. Is it cold yet? Handled. Long journeys? No problem. Its raw, steady push made it a workhorse for heavy loads and stubborn soil. One number that always mattered on the field was horsepower. The Case 930's drawbar provided you with 77 horses ready to swiftly move steel across the ground. Strength like that spoke through action, not words. It weighed around 10,300 pounds, which provided the necessary traction and stability for pulling heavy equipment. Then came the torque, a deep, lasting churn that held steady around 235 pound-feet. Whether you were dragging implements or pulling through wet fields, the Comfort King didn't stall or squirm. It leaned in and held its ground. However, it wasn't brute force that really won over farmers. It was endurance. This thing could cruise at speeds up to 15 miles per hour, faster than many in its class, and still run cool and clean. As a result, there was less babysitting and downtime, and more work accomplished in fewer hours. And true to its name, comfort wasn't an afterthought. Long-haul passengers had room to breathe thanks to the elevated seat, ergonomic levers, and improved visibility, something that was uncommon in the 1960s. It felt less like sitting on a machine, more like sitting above it. You took in more, you strained less. The Case 930 Comfort King didn't chase trends. It remained focused on utility, clarity, and clever design. That's what kept it going strong across farms that needed more than just power. They needed reliability with backbone. Number 11. Oliver 1850. The Oliver 1850 didn't wait around to be noticed. It took attention. It came right after the 1800, but brought more than just a few tweaks. This was a confident upgrade with a brand new heart and a serious attitude shift. Right away, Oliver gave this machine a 6-cylinder Perkins diesel engine with 5,975 cubic centimeters, equal to 365 cubic inches of displacement. The result? 92 horsepower of raw, reliable energy. It ran stronger, smoother, and longer, exactly what serious farmers wanted. The torque was even more impressive. With 212 pound-feet, it pulled through deep soil and uphill slopes like gravity didn't matter. The kind of power that didn't flinch under pressure thrived in it. The overall weight was about 10,800 pounds, allowing the tractor to stay firmly planted when operating large implements. Then came the Hydra power drive, making shifting seamless while moving. No clutch stomping or gear grinding. It offered 18 forward speeds, giving the driver a sense of precision you just couldn't get on earlier models. Comfort? Oliver understood it wasn't optional. With this tractor, you got a spacious platform, straightforward controls, and a steering system that didn't feel like arm wrestling. Long hours in the field didn't have to feel endless. It wasn't just the engine that got a boost. The 1850 also featured stronger axles and improved hydraulics, allowing for heavier implement work without strain. Whether you were planting, dissing, or baling, this machine stepped up without complaint. What made this model memorable was its bold identity. With the signature green and white finish, plus a wide-stance wheatland version, the 1850 looked and acted like a leader. Tractor buffs still talk about the 1850 like it just rolled off the line yesterday. And even today, collectors and restorers chase it down not just for nostalgia, but because it still holds its own. Oliver 1850 carved out its turf in the middleweight bracket and stood its ground with ease. Number 10. Allis Chalmers D19. The industry of farm equipment seemed like a game of chess in the early 1960s. So when Allis Chalmers released the D19 in 1961, it wasn't just a new model, but it was a move of confidence. A quiet power play wrapped in orange steel, built for the kind of farmer who didn't talk much, but got everything done. It was powered by a 6-cylinder engine with a displacement of 4,438 cubic centimeters, equal to 270.8 cubic inches, a significant increase in capacity and size over its D-series predecessors. That meant deeper tilling, heavier loads, and more power on tap without pushing the limits. But power wasn't just about muscle. 66 horsepower were delivered by the D19 to the drawbar, which was significant for its time, particularly in the row crop category. It weighed close to 6,200 pounds, which made it stable, yet still nimble for medium-duty tasks on farms. One of the real breakthroughs came with torque. The diesel version produced approximately 212 pound-feet. For heavy soil or uphill pulls, that kept things moving without slowdown, especially when paired with the tractor's solid gearing setup. The vehicle's top speed was close to 14 miles per hour, giving farmers enough time to circle a field and return without delaying the day. That made a difference when traveling long distances between fields or on rural roads. The choice of fuel was included in the price. The D19 gave buyers a rare triple option: gasoline, LP gas, or diesel. That wasn't just marketing fluff. The option to switch fuels kept costs low and operations steady during a year when prices fluctuated or there were shortages. Comfort didn't take a backseat either. Power Director, a hand-operated power shift feature that allowed farmers to quickly switch ranges, was included with the D19. It meant fewer stops, faster reaction time, and a less fatigued operator at the end of a long shift. The D19 didn't call attention to itself. It simply performed over acres, over seasons, over years. It was praised for its dependability where it mattered, in the field, in the mud, and under load, not for its style or hype. Number 9. Farmall 544. There's something about the Farmall 544 that just fits like a favorite wrench in a calloused hand. Brute strength and oversized builds weren't its lane. Instead, the 544 focused on making everyday tasks smoother, smarter, and more operator-friendly. Underneath the hood lived an engine measuring 4,438 cubic centimeters, equal to 270.8 cubic inches. While far from the largest, its engine delivered output that punched well above its weight. It weighed close to 6,200 pounds, which made it stable yet nimble for its size. With a horsepower rating in the 65 horsepower range, the 544 hit a sweet spot. It had enough to run mid-duty implements without struggling, and light enough to stay nimble in tight spaces. Torque clocked in close to 175 pound-feet. It gave just the right amount of grunt when the soil turned stubborn or the terrain pushed back, and it did so without turning loud or wild. Top speed sat around 16 miles per hour, perfect for bouncing between fields or hauling light loads down the road. This might sound tame, yet for field runs and light hauls, that speed kept things moving just right. Fuel economy was one of its hidden strengths. The engine's tuning helped stretch workdays further without extra fill-ups. It made the 544 a favorite among smaller farms or operations needing a reliable second tractor. Where this model really shined was handling. The hydrostatic steering was fluid, the clutch wasn't stiff, and the controls felt like an extension of the operator. Mowing, raking, pulling, it was all smooth. It had a footprint that made sense. Not too wide, not too tall, and heavy enough to bite into the ground without becoming a burden. You wouldn't catch the 544 demanding attention. Its strength lay in reliability, not theatrics. And in a lineup filled with giants and powerhouses, sometimes that's what matters most. A tractor that shows up day after day and never makes a fuss. That's a legacy no spec sheet can measure. Number 8. Massey Ferguson 1100. The Massey Ferguson 1100 became a well-known tractor in the 1960s because it delivered solid strength and dependable performance for heavy fieldwork. Massey Ferguson introduced it during a push to upsize their machines for evolving, high-capacity equipment. Farmers valued it for its ability to manage demanding jobs without frequent repairs or complications. What won hearts across the fields was how this tractor made hard work feel manageable. It had the muscle for tough, all-day jobs, thanks to a diesel engine measuring 4,355 cubic centimeters or 265.9 cubic inches. But it wasn't just about raw numbers. It was about a machine that could keep going without giving out. The engine's rugged design gave it the stamina farmers needed season after season. With nearly 100 horsepower under its belt, it could pull heavier plows, handle larger seeders, and haul loaded wagons without bogging down. That power didn't come with complexity either. The machine stayed user-friendly and straightforward, which was a huge plus in an era when downtime was costly. Its operating weight of around 9,300 pounds gave it the heft to stay grounded in rough terrain, something farmers respected when working uneven or muddy fields. Control mattered too. With torque production close to 215 pound-feet, the power delivery felt strong but smooth. That made it easier to manage even under stress. And while its top travel speed was around 17 miles per hour, nobody minded it moved efficiently between fields without feeling unstable. Farmers also loved how practical it was. Fuel use averaged about 6 gallons per hour during heavy work, which was acceptable for the horsepower. Maintenance was simple, with easy access service points and a transmission that didn't require constant tinkering. It wasn't flashy, it was dependable. The Massey Ferguson 1100 earned its reputation by combining strong power, dependable engineering, and long-term durability. Many units remain in operation today, showing that this tractor met the needs of farmers then and still holds value decades later. Number 7. Allis Chalmers D21. Every now and then a tractor shows up and changes the temperature in the room. That's what the Allis Chalmers D21 did in the early 1960s. It didn't ask for respect, it demanded it, with brute strength and unapologetic size. Its engine was a massive 6-cylinder diesel that displaced 7.9 liters, which equals 480.8 cubic inches. That wasn't just large, that was monster level. This power plant delivered a whopping 103 horsepower, making the D21 the first row crop tractor to break the 100 horse mark. It tipped the scales at nearly 13,000 pounds, making it a giant among row crop tractors. And it didn't stop there. Its torque came in strong at 250 pound-feet, giving it bulldozer-like pull through wet soil and heavy loads. No spinouts, no stalls, just pure forward force. The D21 also brought in an enclosed cab option, a first for Allis at the time, giving operators shelter, visibility, and protection from the elements. Farming in winter or blazing summer suddenly became survivable, even borderline comfortable. Top speed climbed to around 17 miles per hour, which was fast for a machine this big. Its rear lift capacity and hydraulic system supported massive implements, opening new doors for how much a farmer could do in a single day. Bigger tasks, fewer passes. Looks-wise, it was all attitude. That long, squared-off orange hood, that towering frame. The D21 looked like it could plow fields and crush egos, and maybe it did both. It was built for serious operators who wanted a machine that could pull its own weight and then some. It was the alpha in a field full of followers. The D21 just raised the bars. Nothing that came before it looked or performed like this, and nothing after could ever forget it. Number 6. International Harvester 1206 Turbo. There was no easing into power with this machine. The International Harvester 1206 Turbo came roaring onto the scene in the mid-1960s, cloaked in white and red, wearing its turbo badge like a warning label. This tractor wasn't here to blend in. It was built to bite down and pull with fury. Farmers gravitated to it because it felt like a machine that pushed boundaries. The turbocharged diesel engine, measuring 5,985 cubic centimeters, or 365 cubic inches, didn't just sound different. It changed how power felt in the field. That shrill turbo whine became instantly recognizable, and onlookers could hear the strength coming before they even saw it. With an operating weight of around 11,500 pounds, it dug in deep and refused to slip. Horsepower came in at 112, but it was the delivery that left an impression. Aggressive, unrelenting, and perfectly matched for big row crop implements. Farmers loved how it handled heavy tillage without bogging down, and how the torque, rated near 212 pound-feet, arrived with purpose. The torque amplifier transmission gave operators something they hadn't experienced before: the ability to shift under load without using the clutch. That wasn't just a perk, it was a game changer during long pulls. Speed maxed out near 18 miles per hour, which was more than enough for field transfers. But the bigger praise came from how it gripped every surface with certainty. Fuel usage landed around 6 gallons per hour, which users accepted as the cost of that performance. And with the optional factory cab, it became one of the first row crop tractors to blend comfort and brute strength in the same machine. What really makes the 1206 memorable is the way it blurred the line between brute strength and modern farming precision. It was more than a spike in stats. It was a signal that IH was coming to dominate the horsepower race, whether the world was ready or not. Number 5, John Deere 3020. By the mid-1960s, the John Deere 3020 emerged as a favorite for farms needing reliable punch without added bulk or complexity. It moved easily between row crop tasks, loader work, and utility hauling, tight enough for turns, steady enough for a day's grind. What made this machine so well-liked was how effortlessly it handled a wide range of jobs. Its diesel engine came in at 4,275 cubic centimeters, or 261 cubic inches, and it delivered performance that felt consistent from sunup to sundown. It had enough guts to run balers and cultivators, but still felt compact enough to squeeze into tighter plots. Rated at 71 horsepower, the 3020 gave farmers the flexibility to manage bigger tools without giving up comfort. Weighing around 7,100 pounds, it offered just enough heft to stay grounded but never felt heavy to steer. That blend of size and balance made it a go-to choice for mixed-use farms. Torque reached roughly 190 pound-feet, and it delivered that strength smoothly across variable terrain. Whether hauling uphill or working through soft patches, it kept a steady pace without much fuss. Travel speed topped out near 19 miles per hour, quick enough for road transfers, without compromising handling. Fuel efficiency was another reason for its loyal following. At around 4.5 gallons per hour under load, it gave operators longer hours in the field with fewer stops. Pair that with John Deere's dependable synchro range or power shift transmissions, and the result was a machine that didn't waste time or energy. Operators also appreciated the little things. Visibility was open, the seat was well positioned, and everything felt logically placed. The layout made long days easier. Maintenance tasks could be done without tools scattered all over the place. Access was straightforward, and repairs rarely turned into headaches. The John Deere 3020 gained long-term respect because it was adaptable, efficient, and simple to maintain. Its versatility and solid engineering kept it in active service for decades. Many years later, they're still out scratched, repainted, but moving rows like it's day one. Number 4, International Harvester 806. The International Harvester 806 wasn't just another tractor, it was the one families trusted when failure wasn't an option. From its debut in 1963, it earned its stripes on big fields, tough soil, and long seasons. What gave it that reputation? A diesel engine with nearly 6,000 cubic centimeters, or 365 cubic inches, that pushed through heavy tillage without hesitation. It delivered up to 95 horsepower and 220 pound-feet of torque, more than enough for the implements farmers were upgrading to in the 60s. It wasn't just powerful, it kept things moving. The torque amplifier transmission meant you could shift without stopping, perfect for long harvest days, and with a 17-mile-per-hour top speed, the 806 didn't waste time between fields. Its 9,500-pound frame gave it firm footing in mud, clay, or anything the Midwest could throw at it. But the real love came from how it ran day to day. It used about 6 gallons per hour, handled easily, and gave a wide, open view from the seat. Everything felt intuitive. No distractions, no gimmicks, just a machine built for real work. That's why you'll still see the 806 running strong. It wasn't flashy. It just delivered year after year, and farmers never forgot it. Number 3, Ford 5000. The Ford 5000 did not arrive quietly. Rather, it entered with a clear intention to redefine the capabilities of a mid-sized row crop tractor. Released during a period of shifting farm dynamics, it wasn't just part of the conversation, it helped shape it. This vehicle was powered by a diesel engine with a displacement of 3,900 cubic centimeters, which equals 234 cubic inches under the hood. There were no jolts or spikes, merely a steady pull from ignition to shutoff. The Ford 5000 delivered muscle for baling, cutting, hauling, or running augers, with 69 horsepower at the PTO. And not just on paper, this was power farmers could feel under their boots. It weighed about 6,700 pounds, which was ideal for its power class and tasks. The torque curve remained stable and reached its peak at 160 pound-feet. Even when hitched to grain wagons or heavy mowers, it didn't shudder or stall. Instead, it responded with strength in every pull. It also moved with surprising pace for its class. The top speed crept just past 15 miles per hour. Off the field, that may not sound like much, but on difficult terrain or in between jobs, that extra push really added value. It meant more time spent working and less time spent moving. The type of fuel was also not fixed. Depending on cost or availability, operators could select gasoline or diesel. That duality added a layer of independence that many other tractors didn't offer. What if one fuel didn't work? Just switch. The machine didn't care, as long as the job got done. The Select O-Speed transmission was hailed as one of its best features. 14 forward gears, plus 8 in reverse, let farmers fine-tune their speed like never before. This was more than just a gear shift. It was full control for tillage, transport, or field preparation. The Ford 5000 offered operator comfort, while earlier models relied heavily on brute force. Visibility was better. The ride is smoother. Even the controls felt more intentional. It didn't try to be revolutionary. Rather, it quietly functioned as it already did. What made the 5000 last wasn't hype or nostalgia, it was trust. Trust in every pass, every season, every start on a cold morning. They remember work that got done and the tractor that made it happen. Number 2, John Deere 4020. The John Deere 4020 became one of the most recognized tractors of the 1960s because it delivered a mix of strength, reliability, and versatility that suited many farm operations. It was designed to meet the growing demands of larger implements while remaining manageable for everyday tasks. The 4020's real strength was how naturally it fit into the pace of farm life. Its diesel engine, measured at 6,635 cubic centimeters, or 405 cubic inches, gave it the muscle to handle row crop work, loader jobs, and big implements without fuss. Operators didn't need to second-guess its output. It simply delivered what the day demanded. With horsepower reaching the 100 mark, this model didn't flinch when asked to do more. Whether it was working deep soil or moving heavy wagons, it kept momentum steady and equipment running clean. And thanks to torquey output, hovering around 215 pound-feet, there was a noticeable surge of pull, even when things got heavy or uneven in the field. Its weight around 9,100 pounds made a difference where it counted. Implements stayed grounded and traction held firm. Travel speed topped out near 19 miles per hour, which helped cover ground fast when shifting between tasks or fields. This wasn't just a workhorse, it moved with purpose. Fuel efficiency added to its reputation. It could run long stretches on a tank, with fewer interruptions and solid returns on diesel, with either the synchro range or power shift transmission options. Gear transitions stayed reliable and smooth, features that operators trusted during critical planting and harvest windows. Hydraulics worked cleanly across a range of attachments. From the cab, controls were intuitive, visibility was solid, and the overall build felt tuned to the kind of work farmers actually faced day to day. It wasn't flashy, it was practical, smartly built, and kept showing up year after year, job after job. The 4020 became a long-term favorite because it combined flexible configurations with reliable engineering. Many units are still in use decades later, proving its reputation as one of John Deere's best models. Number 1, Massey Ferguson 135. The Massey Ferguson 135 didn't try to impress with flash. It earned its following by being exactly what thousands of farmers needed. It was reliable, affordable, and just powerful enough to handle real work without constant fuss. Its heart was a diesel engine, displacing 2,532 cubic centimeters, equal to 154.5 cubic inches. That size gave it enough strength to run implements like small plows and balers without crossing into overkill territory. With a steady output of around 45 horsepower, it was right in the zone. For general field work, no wasted fuel, no excess bulk. Where it really shined was in ease of use. The tractor weighed about 3,600 pounds, making it light enough for tight orchards or barn jobs, but still solid on rough ground. Torque was close to 120 pound-feet, giving it enough bite to push through heavy soil without the driver constantly shifting gears to compensate. The top speed of nearly 16 miles per hour meant farmers could travel between plots without dragging the day. Fuel use stayed low, roughly 3 gallons per hour, which made it a smart choice when every dollar counted. And when work stretched past daylight, owners didn't have to worry about it giving up before they did. With both 6- and 8-speed transmission options, dependable hydraulics, and a Category 1 3-point hitch, it supported a wide range of attachments common on mixed farms of the era. And unlike heavier machines that required training, this one invited confidence. Visibility was clear, controls were intuitive, and routine maintenance felt more like a chore you didn't mind doing. The Massey Ferguson 135 wasn't flashy, but it proved that a well-balanced, hard-working tractor could build lifelong loyalty. Even today, you'll find them running strong because back then, it wasn't about bells and whistles. It was about getting the job done, day in and day out. Built for the field, remembered forever, these tractors made the 60s roar, and their legacy's still rolling. Which one would you park in your dream barn? Like, comment, and subscribe. Your support keeps these stories alive.